Thank you for that. I thought maybe my mother was in the crowd. There was that one shout out back there. First of all, Allie, what an extraordinary actress. And I remember the night we went to watch Oklahoma and thinking after that performance, she is going to win the Tony. So, stick with me. First of all, I just want to say it is great to be back in person, to see all of your faces, and imagine that we can be back together again like this after so much that we've all been through as a country. Of course, we're here to mark ADAP's 75th anniversary. It makes my heart sing tonight, not only to be here for that, but to talk about two remarkable people, two friends of mine, Amy Robach and Andrew Shue. I can't help but to smile when I think about them. Amy, as you know, has been a force in network news for many years now, her time at NBC and MSNBC, and of course, I'm a little partial to her time at ABC. I remember when she arrived, I remember when she had the office next to me, she came in, she was a force then, she's a force now, and I'm not even talking about news. Amy, over the time that I have been friends with her, has become a force for change and for good. You all know that I do the news at night, but over the years, Amy and I have filled in often together on Good Morning America. And I remember the first couple of times we filled in together, we kind of looked at each other during the commercial break and we said, is this supposed to feel like work? Which is something you never say in front of network news bosses, that it doesn't feel like work. But truth be told, Amy and I felt like we connected from the very start. Years later, we become co-anchors of 2020. We have loved every moment together. I know our colleague, Deborah Roberts, is here in the crowd tonight. We are very proud of that program all these years. Give you a little bit of Amy's resume. As you know, if you've all become news junkies, and in this time, it's hard to just even avoid the news. I'm sorry about that. But Amy has interviewed countless newsmakers and covered countless global events all over the world. She reported on some of our biggest tragedies, the shooting at First Baptist Church in Texas, the Pulse nightclub, the awful massacre in Florida, the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings in Connecticut. She's covered politics, of course, most recently the 2020 election. She reported on the murder of George Floyd and the reckoning, the much and long overdue reckoning in this country. Her international reporting includes the terror attacks in Manchester and Belgium. I remember standing there right next to her as we were live on Good Morning America that morning. She's traveled to Iceland to report on climate change. She's really led the way for our team, traveling all over the world. She's been in Tanzania on the poaching epidemic and its impact across the globe. And perhaps most importantly, she's had a profound impact on women, not only in this country, but around the world, raising awareness for breast cancer prevention and treatment. In 2015, she wrote a New York Times bestseller titled Better: How I Let Go of Control, Held On to Hope, and Found Joy in My Darkest Hour, which chronicled this unexpected journey for her with breast cancer after being diagnosed during an on-air mammogram while on Good Morning America in front of the country. That's an extraordinary story, and we are also proud of her, and look at how she's thriving ever since. And what I mentioned here tonight about Amy and her resume, her long list of accomplishments as a journalist, that's just scratching the surface. We're about to get to what's truly important. Now, Andrew and I have never filled in on Good Morning America before, but I think we'd have pretty good chemistry. We definitely do over margaritas, so maybe that's part of the morning show if we ever get invited to do it together. But I want to mention that Andrew is being honored tonight as well. You might know his work as an actor, but for those of us who know him, we all know the quality of his work and the kindness that goes into his work as an entrepreneur and his contributions to the nonprofit world. He first excelled in the sports world. It's kind of, his whole family is full of athletes. You should just follow him on social media if you want to feel badly about how little exercise you're doing. In 1990, Andrew played soccer professionally in Zimbabwe for the Bulawayo Highlanders, winning the league and the cup. Then he played in the United States. He played 2 years in Major League Soccer for the Los Angeles Galaxy. 2 years later, Andrew gained some fame when he acted on this show called Melrose Place. He ended up on a few posters in bedrooms around the country and the world. We all remember that show. In 1994, Andrew co-founded the youth service organization Do Something with his lifelong friend, Michael Sanchez. They also co-founded CafeMedia, which is a platform that serves as the exclusive revenue provider for the nation's leading independent digital publishers. And most recently, and I remember talking about this just this last summer over dinner with Andrew, he helped launch a national grassroots effort to bring a more responsive government for the people, by the people, of the people, by forming a nonpartisan network called thepeople.org. Amy and Andrew, they married more than a decade ago now. Does it feel like a decade or 70 years or I don't know, you can tell me after. They brought together Amy's 2 daughters and Andrew's 3 sons. Cue the Brady Bunch theme song. And last year, Amy and Andrew actually co-authored a children's book called Better Together. And they actually took inspiration for that book from their own blended family, their real lives. And let's just say the McSquirrelies in the book are loosely based on the shoebox. Amy and Andrew, you both obviously have my respect. I know that you know that, but you also have my heart. And they're also just so awful to look at. But I do want to say as their friend that the real beauty of the 2 of them comes from within. I have witnessed in them what we all hope for at some point in our adult lives, a turning point when kindness, generosity, and gratitude become the most important things that drive you every single day when you get up. And I know that moment arrived for them long ago. Their family members, their parents, their children, they are their closest friends, but what's also remarkable is that their closest friends have become their family. And I think that that truly says it all about their hearts. So please allow me to welcome and to honor Amy Robach and Andrew Shue.
By the way, I'm going to bring David everywhere I go, just, as an introduction, because he's pretty good at his job there. And by the way, it's been awesome. David and I just said, I think this is the first time we were able to hug in 2 years. We've been standing 6 feet apart throughout this pandemic. He's been reporting, of course, as has I, but ABC rules that we had to stay apart. So this was a beautiful night, actually, where we hugged for the first time in 2 years. So David, thank you for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. I can only hope that we could live up to it. So thank you, and thank you everyone. We want to give our deep appreciation for all of you being here tonight, and especially to ADAPT CEO and fellow honoree, Ed Matthews. Ed's in the house, right? He has continued to work tirelessly over the years, and especially during these past 2 years, while this pandemic disrupted all of our lives. As you might imagine, it was especially challenging to those with special needs. So many families have relied on the work of ADAPT more than ever during these times. And like always, ADAPT was there for them. So we want to give a huge thanks to the entire ADAPT Board of Directors. This is an organization that has helped children and adults and their families with disabilities and they've done it over the past 75 years throughout New York City, and through your support here tonight, I know that they can continue this very important work. And so, as a mom, as a journalist, I have seen, David has seen, we've all seen so many families struggle with disconnection, especially during these times. You feel separated, you feel alone and isolated. We need ADAPT to be there. This is the difference between feeling a part of something and feeling separated and alone. And this is a true lifeline for so many families and so many individuals now and in the past almost a near century. So at some point, I know all of us face challenges. And as David mentioned, for me, it was a health challenge. I'm a breast cancer thriver, I like to say, 8 years and counting. Thank you. And that served as a huge wake-up call, because I think even as a journalist, you feel like you can imagine what it's like to struggle or to have some big challenge or face your darkest moment, but until it happens to you, you don't really realize how important community is, how important those lifelines are, like ADAPT, and until you have to. And when you do, it is an organization like ADAPT that is that extra helping hand, that group of people who shows you in your darkest hour or throughout some really difficult times that someone cares, that someone is there for you no matter what. And that is what ADAPT is for so many families and so many individuals here in New York City.
So I just want to say this morning at about 6:10, the alarm went off, and I said, I thought you weren't working this morning. She usually has to be on GMA early, or she has GMA 3 a little later. She's like, oh, I'm running 4 miles. So I said, so does that mean I have to run? She said, no, you can go back to sleep. But as she led me here tonight, I had to join her. So we went out on our run, and I have to say that Amy, in the last 10 years, has taught me how to live. And you know, it's not how long you live, it's how you live. And we talk a lot about that. And she was reading something. She said, this really caught my eye about how you find joy in life. Now, you really need 3 things. You need something to do that you love. You need someone to love, and you need something to look forward to. And that's what ADAPT does. And it's truly remarkable when you think of the people who struggle. They need that, but you know what? They teach all of us that they get up and they do it every day, and they find that joy and they find something to look forward to. So I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight. You all deserve an award for supporting this incredible organization. So we feel honored to be here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.